Hello and welcome back to the Humbrol YouTube channel. We're going to be taking a look at something a little bit different in this video in the form of Humbrol's Glass Etch spray. Glass Etch comes in 4 colours, white, red, green and blue, and each can contains 150 ml of a paint which can be applied directly to the surface of glassware and will dry to replicate the effect of etched glass. Glass Etch spray dries in minutes and is very easy to apply to any glass surface. When used in conjunction with masking tape or clear masking film, the only limit to what you can apply to the surface of your glass item is your imagination and how good you are with a craft knife. In this video we'll be covering some very basic patterns and also copying some attractive designs we found in the supermarket using some clear masking film as a stencil. To begin with, we're going to be applying the most basic of designs using white glass etch to create a simple rectangular feature around the front of this picture frame. To achieve this, we're going to use ordinary household masking tape to protect the frame itself and 10mm modeller's masking tape to create the sharp edges of the stencil. A single line of the modeller's masking tape is applied around the perimeter of the picture frame to create the offset for the white feature. The wood of the frame is then protected with household masking tape to avoid being damaged by any overspray. Around the inside edge of the first layer of modeller's tape, a second line is neatly applied and the corners are snipped nice and neatly with a craft knife. This area of tape will be peeled away later and the glass etch will be sprayed onto this part of the glass, so it's important we keep this area nice and neat. The stencil is completed by applying a third row of modeller's masking tape around the inner perimeter and then blocking in the central area of the frame using the household masking tape. All we have to do now is remove the second layer of tape and we'll be left with an equally spaced straight edged area of exposed glass over which we can spray the Humbrol Glass Etch. We're going to be spraying from a distance of about 25 cm and making very light, quick passes over the front of the frame to avoid heavy paint buildup which may cause runs or sags. We've cut the drying time out of our sequence, but it's important to remember to allow the glass etch to cure fully before applying further coats. We don't want this feature to be too bold on this picture frame, so we're going to finish up at 3 coats, allow everything to dry fully and then remove the masking tape. As we peel away the modeller's masking tape from the inside of the stencil, a nice clean straight line is revealed, meaning that the stencil has done its job perfectly. This simple but effective addition to an otherwise plain picture frame was completed in approximately 30 minutes including drying time and is now completely resilient to handling and can even be washed by hand without removing the glass etch. Let's move on to something a little bit more complicated now and replicate some more detailed patterns on the surface of a piece of glass using clear masking film to create some more intricate stencils. After selecting a pattern which takes our fancy, the clear masking film is simply stuck down over the top and the edge of the pattern is traced around with a sharp craft knife. The centre of the stencil is then carefully peeled away with tweezers. The masking film is then gently removed from the pattern paper and applied to the side of the glass we want to decorate. In this case it's a large flat-sided vase and we're taking extra care to make sure no air bubbles get trapped under the film. A cotton bud is used to buff the masking film down onto the surface of the glass. With the stencil in place, all we need to do now is mask off any exposed areas to protect them from overspray. With everything masked up, it's time to apply the glass etch. With a few paper towels down to protect our cutting mat, we're now going to spray the glass etch as per the instructions on the back of the can in light even coats from a distance of 25 to 30 cm. Here you can see that as the glass etch dries, it starts to form up into that frosted glass effect. To achieve a stronger colour and bolder effect, a second and then a third layer of glass etch is sprayed over the top of the stencil. Full drying time is allowed between applications to avoid any runs in the paint. Once the glass etch spray has fully cured, it's time for the moment of truth, and we can peel away the masking tape and reveal how well the stencil has worked. All of the edges are nice and clean, and the overall finish on the glass etch is very smooth. So we're going to go ahead now and complement that leaf pattern with a slightly different one in a contrasting colour. The overall process is repeated, only this time we're going to embellish the stencil a little more whilst it's in situ on the face of the vase. By cutting a stem into the masking film while it's in place, we can link these two motifs together to create an interweaving pattern. The application process is repeated, this time using white glass etch spray, allowed to dry fully in between coats until we build up a nice strong colour. This time we haven't been quite so lucky with our stenciling skills, and the glass etch has bled under the film in a few places. Not to worry, a quick scraping with a craft knife will remove any of the excess spray and allows us to clean up the lines until they're nice and sharp. And here you can see the finished result. In less than 2 hours of work, we've taken a pattern which we like the look of and applied it to an otherwise plain cheap glass vase to create something completely unique. Humbrol's glass etch spray is not suitable for use in areas of high moisture or humidity, however it can withstand a small amount of heat. Provided the glass isn't too small, that means it can be used to create some interesting tea light holders. Here we've used masking tape to create small square holes in a swirled finish of all the different glass etch colours, and when a tea light candle is placed inside, it will cast some interesting shadows on the walls around it. The glass etch will also diffuse the light and throw out some nice colours. If a project's not going according to plan, then don't worry. A quick wipe with Humbrol's enamel thinners will remove the glass etch spray completely, enabling you to start over again with a clean slate. Once the glass etch spray is dry, it can be safely washed in warm soapy water by hand, however it isn't dishwasher safe. So there you've seen a few very basic projects with Humbrol's glass etch spray. We hope you like what you've seen and that it inspires you to grab a can and get customising on the glassware around your house and home. Thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you again next time.